great way to start the day.
This is it. Today is the day the van build begins. The sun is shining, my power tools are calling my name. Yeah, I wish. Today is demo day. Somehow, after all of this time and preparation, there is still more to do before we get to the juicy parts. Put the chainsaw away. Yeah, there is never a need for a chainsaw. Step 1, once I'd emptied out the van for the day, is removing the stock lights that came with the vehicle. At this point, I began to remember how much during my last van build I kept wishing I had stronger arms. I tried channeling my inner Mulan, but honestly that didn't help at all.
Raging fire, mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Now we just got a little clip in there to remove. Ah! Doing this all with one hand is not as easy as it may look. Did it look easy? Because it wasn't. I don't know why I sat. I gotta go do another one. All right, round 2. Hey. Voila. That easy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Next, I removed the wall paneling, and what you're witnessing right now is me doing this completely incorrectly, knowing it, not really caring, then just cracking the whole panel over and over.
Oh!
But I do figure it out when I get to the back doors. Don't worry, just give her a minute.
Oh God! Oh God! Come to Papa. Oh! Come here. So it's off. And that's all that really matters, right? Just like a walk of shame. Let's see if it works.
Welcome to the ASMR portion of this show.
This feels like I'm about to go off. It's like hole in one.
The reason I removed these now and not later when I go to put in the door cards is because I want to do a really thorough scrub of the entire van now.
So there's actually been a hurricane here the last few days, and while that sucked because I couldn't build, that did mean that I was able to come out here and check the van really thoroughly for leaks because there's no harsher rain than a hurricane. One of the really common places for a leak in a ProMaster is right here. And the way I discovered this was during my last van build. I actually Googled common leak places for Ram ProMasters, and I discovered this. And so I knew where to look when I was checking for leaks by looking for those common places. And I did actually have a leak on this exact one in my last van, so I had it welded together by a professional last time. However, I am going to cover this and a few other spots with Loctite marine adhesive.
Our very first trip to Home Depot.
I want to have a peace of mind that a leak isn't going to happen there later on, especially since I know it's a common spot for these vans to leak. Also, while driving the vehicle, I was checking if there were specific places that were more rattly than others, besides like the wheel well boxes that are obviously going to make a lot of noise. And one spot that made a lot of noise in my van was this sliding door, and it was louder than my other van was when I closed it, and it seemed like a bigger problem than just what kill mat or a sound deadener could solve. And I realized it's because this is like chipped away and it's not attached as well as it used to be or should be to this door. So I'm also going to add the marine adhesive here, and then I have one other spot. All right, so these right here have a few different names. Sills, weep holes. I think from the outside, the paneling is called rocker panels. whatever you want to call them, whatever they're named. Basically what they're for is that road dirt comes in from the rear wheels and it kind of sits in here, but also water can collect in here and there's a little hole in the back for it to drain out of. So it is imperative. This is serious business when I say, do not insulate those babies. Don't do it. You want to. I know you want to because your brain says, I need to insulate every little last corner. I must do it or else. But you don't need to. But it's also really bad for the weep holes. They were made by the manufacturer for a reason. You filling this with Havelock wool or whatever kind of insulation is not gonna let it fulfill its purpose. And that insulation is just gonna get like all soggy and covered and it's like not gonna be able to breathe and the water needs to pass through. But why am I here now, you're probably wondering. Well, a lot of people seal up the little tabs from the rocker panels to help stop leaks and stop water from coming in the first place. This is actually a really big issue in sprinters that can cause leaks. So if you have a sprinter, I'm going to leave a link in the description for you to look at of a video of a guy with a sprinter who actually sealed up the rocker panels in a totally different way than I'm going to do it because it's a bigger issue on sprinters. But for me, I'm just gonna seal up the little tabs on the inside and call it a day.
What? Oh my god. I didn't see that coming. I should have just filming B-roll and... So I got this in the mail 2 days ago and I have been waiting to open it with you guys. It really defines and starts showing you what my idea is for just the overall aesthetic of the finished van build. It's not gonna be pink. It's gonna be better.
Feeling the effects of masculinity right now. I feel the testosterone. I want to go to war! I want a lightsaber!
But unfortunately, the only thing we're actually battling is daylight, so we gotta get back to it. So now we're going to install this drive safe tracker thing from State Farm, which will hopefully help me lower my insurance cost, and this OBD Port Lock. This will help slow down any thief that breaks into my vehicle and tries to use the OBD port to take control of the vehicle. It's not foolproof, but I'm hoping it'll be worth the money, even if it's just for peace of mind. If someone does try to steal the vehicle and get away, I will also have my GPS locator that came with my vehicle. I was originally thinking of using Apple AirTags, but Apple actually specifically does not recommend them for use to track vehicles, so that was not a great option. But I have quite a bit of friends who have actually had their van stolen one way or another, so this is nice, but also, did you know people can just buy a GPS blocker for kind of cheap on the internet? At least that's what the word on the street is. So just hope your thief is kind of dumb.
All right, so now we get to open another really exciting box. This is something that I have been wanting for my entire 3 years of living in a van. This is something I knew I could not do a new van build and not upgrade.
I'm going to change up here in the cab. First is these window covers.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
On command, showing how trashy they are.
And so I want to say a really huge thank you to Wonderful for sending me new window covers for this new van. Already just opening it up, it's already 10 times better because mine were really big and bulky and they did not fold up this small. And you have to store them, and you know, van life, you don't have a lot of space for storage. So I'm already bounds and leaps ahead of my old covers. I don't really know what I'm doing. These are much bougier than mine. My old ones, because these are mine. Wait. Oh, look at that seal. Can we just, I just want to talk about like, wait. Okay. All right. Before we hang these up, I just want to talk about like, just they feel so high quality and mine felt so trashy. Look how thin that is. I'm so excited for this new van. It's going to be so awesome. I'm so excited. Oh, goodness. And I'm really excited to see and test is how they last over time, because I feel like when I first made my window covers, they fit well, and then they didn't fit well after 3 years. I don't have any more words to say. I think they're great. You know I needed these. I needed these. So now I just want to check some physical maintenance things on my vehicle so that I can figure out where it's at and put it on a routine maintenance schedule. And if you're in a similar place with your vehicle, I highly recommend you get yourself one of these.
You see this book?
Yeah, I see it.
It's called the Enchiridion. It's a book meant only for heroes whose hearts are righteous.
Schmauza!
So this is my maintenance notebook that I use to keep track of all of the maintenance that goes on for this vehicle. And yes, I did stay up until 2 a.m. crafting this together because I love Adventure Time.
Hey, crack open that book and read something for fun's sake, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
So in this book, I write down my vehicle information, purchase info, loan info, insurance info, important dates, and I keep a quick reference parts sheet so that, for example, if I have to change my oil or change a light, I don't have to relook up a part if I've already done it once. It just saves me time. I also will be writing down every time I do any maintenance work on this vehicle so that I can keep track all in one place. And now I just want to take a real quick moment, look under the hood of the van, see what condition everything's in, make sure all the levels are topped off, and see how we're doing. So I'm just going to clean the engine bay and check all the levels. Based on how old your vehicle is, that will affect what you need to be changing and checking. After my check, all I need to do is add some windshield wiper fluid, and I marked down in my book that I just had an oil change before I left the dealership after buying it. If you aren't sure what to look for, the maintenance ebook I'm constantly using and talking about from Project VanLife is free and in the description of this video. After this, I finally go and fix the issue that made the light come on my dash in the beginning of this video, which is that one of my license plate lights is out. It was a pretty easy fix since the door panel was already off, but trying to fix it from the front, it just kept slipping out of my pliers and I was having a hard time reaching it. So now comes the part I've been dreading all day. I have to thoroughly scrub the entire van. I started by removing the flooring that came with the van, which is a lot heavier than it looks, and the floor was filthy. My last van didn't come with a floor mat, so it had a super clean floor because, of course, dealerships only clean the parts that you can see. However, I know I'll be super thankful for that floor mat later when I have to use it as a template. So I started by sweeping, then tried a mop, but that was just way too big, so I had to get down on my hands and knees, and I did it the old-fashioned way, which of course took forever. But this was a super important step because I wanted to avoid rust at all costs, and cleaning the floor helps me see if there's any rust spots or bare metal. And while I was thankful to be rust free, there was a lot of bare metal on the raised grooves on the floor, so that is how I ended up unexpectedly spraying the entire floor with Rustoleum clean metal primer. So while this time lapse plays out, I want to say there are a few things I did not do today, but they are on the list for the future. Like eventually one day I want to get a suspension upgrade because RAM between the ProMaster, the Sprinter, and the Transit is actually the lowest sitting vehicle, and I also want cruise control because this beast is a gas guzzler. I would love a light bar in the front eventually because the stock headlights are subpar at best, and getting all-terrain tires is definitely something I will eventually upgrade as well. However, none of those things are in the budget right now, but if they were, they would have been something I would do at this point in the build timeline. I also couldn't find an anti-shatter window kit that I liked for the back windows. I was also thinking of maybe window tinting or using like a 3M window insulation kit, and I would have done that today, but I was just so indecisive with how many and how few options there were. Also, if I wanted the van to look nice, I would have done a bed liner spray at this point, but I actually want the van to kind of look beat up on the outside so it doesn't look like a good target for thieves. That's why I didn't mind the 2 dents either. Alright, that's a wrap on van build day 1, and I will see you again real soon for day 2 when we attempt to build a floor.